Welcome friends to a quick pros and cons video on the 2023 Nissan Pathfinder. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe as you're entering the video. And also if you want to see my full detailed thoughts on the Pathfinder, check out the full half an hour long review I did on this particular SL model. Okay, let's get started here. The first pro with the Pathfinder is going to be, well, with the way it drives. I literally have no complaints with the driving demeanor of this new Pathfinder. The 3.5 liter V6 engine is tuned great, especially in conjunction with this new 9-speed ZF automatic transmission. Nissan's transmission tuning is really well done. It's pretty much perfect. You just leave it in the automatic mode and it does its job. The ride quality is excellent, especially with these 18-inch wheels. The handling of this, despite it being a 3-row SUV, there's no crazy body roll with it when you take your everyday left-hand, right-hand turns. Your occupants aren't being flipped over onto each other. When you go over certain harsh bumps, there's no ridiculous jostling sensations. You're not being bobbed around all over the place, being car sick. No, there's none of that. Every aspect of driving this car, there's no complaints. And even with its refinement, this is near luxury car levels of refinement. I mean, they're using double pane glass in the front. They got thicker glass in the rear compared to the previous generation models. We have thicker carpets. We have sound deadening materials in the door panels. It is a very quiet experience. I guess a con to pretty much all of these 3-row SUVs in the class, it's going to be with, well, the fact that they're not very exciting. They're rather dull driving experiences, and you kind of expect that in this kind of normal vehicle segment. This is not a Lamborghini Urus or a Porsche Cayenne or anything like that. It's not going to light your world on fire. But once again, I feel like most people know and understand that with these 3-row SUVs. But once again, it's doing everything that you need it to do. It's a great family hauler. So I guess that's going to be the first con that we can list there. The next pro that I feel like most families are actually going to care about is in regards to safety. Nissan does a great job in pretty much offering you all of the important safety features standard. So the Pathfinder starts at $35,000 for a front-wheel drive S model. Even that vehicle will come with things like blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, all these important safety features. And then when you step up in trim level to something like this SL, you'll get things like a 360 camera, one of those top view cameras, and a more advanced Pro Pilot Assist with the navigation, things like that. But all the important stuff, you get that standard even with the base model. And the other aspect of safety is going to be the crash test. This is a IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. That is a very impressive award to get. Even with the updated side crash test where they increase the speed, the Pathfinder still gets good marks. Many vehicles actually failed the new side crash test when they increase the speed. So it's very impressive that this Pathfinder continues to be a very safe option for your family. The next pro is going to be in regards to this interior space. It's really well done, very ergonomic, easy to reach over and touch some of these buttons, access the HVAC, which is completely separated from the screen here. We have separate temperature readouts, fan speeds, and you have your own knobs, button switches, all that to access your HVAC. And it's rather spacious in here. There's some good width here, so your occupants are not just being, scrunched up together. There's actual distance between the passengers, plenty of cubby space, plenty of cup holders. The door pocket space is good. The armrest space is good. Same thing with the glove box. So all that is really well done, intelligently designed. I really appreciate that. But it's not perfect. There are certainly some cons with this interior space. A lot of this black, shiny plastic being used that, shows off pretty much all of the dust. You always need to have a microfiber cloth in here to keep this clean. This material is also going to show scratches over time. So it's just not the best material choice. I wish they just used like this brushed aluminum plastic material that they use here for the vents. I just wish they used that throughout the interior space instead of this piano black plastic. Other cons with the interior space, it's going to be with the infotainment and the digital gauge cluster in the middle here. They work fine. They show you some great information. They're easy to use. That's not the problem, but it just feels like certain aspects of it feel unfinished. Like when you access the map button on the infotainment, you know, a lot of the lettering at the bottom there feels all like, you know, jumbled up together. It just doesn't look very clean. Same thing with the gauge cluster. You know, there's like these little menus that pop up towards the bottom. All that feels kind of jumbled up, and it's just not the most attractive thing. It's not a big deal. You can certainly live with it, of course, but it's just those certain little attention to detail things that, you know, as they progress through the model years, they can improve that, make it a little bit more attractive and cleaned up. That's pretty much it regarding that. But I do like this infotainment screen. When you step up to the SL models like this or the Platinums, you get a 9-inch screen as opposed to an 8-inch screen in the more base models. And another pro when you get the SL models and up is the fact that you get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and you also get a wireless charging pad with the SL model, so you don't need to utilize a plug. I really do like that. Another huge pro with pretty much a lot of these Nissan products is going to be with these zero gravity seats. They are genuinely so comfortable. I did like a 3-hour long road trip in this, and my lower back, there's no issues with it. There's so much lumbar support. One of the most comfortable seats that you can get, especially in a normal car like this. It's really well done. Another pro that I really appreciate it when car manufacturers get this right, but it's with the doors and the way they feel when you close them. They feel really solid. It doesn't feel like a tin can. So I really like it when car manufacturers get that right. And the next aspect of this interior, it's going to be both kind of a pro and a con. So I did mention that this is a rather spacious interior space, especially in the front and the second row. You know, you got gobs of headroom and legroom. That's not even remotely an issue. But the third row seats, it's not very spacious, especially for adults. Now, I get it. Most people understand that that third row seating space is meant for children, but you know, in vehicles like the Mazda CX-9 and the Kia Telluride, I can actually genuinely fit in the third row. I can actually ride back there. But in this vehicle, if I push the second row seats all the way back to, you know, give those passengers ample amounts of legroom, then I literally have no place to fit my legs. So in the other vehicles like the CX-9 and the Telluride, the second row passengers can still have a great deal amount of space, and I can still fit back there. In this, I have to compromise the second row seating area for me to fit in the third row. So something to keep in mind. The reason why I mention it is because it might even be tight for some children to sit back there as well, if you want to still give the second row occupant space. But technically, the way it's configured here with this SL, this is a 8-seater. So that is pretty cool. But keep in mind, it is one of the more tighter third row seats that I have tested in this class. But a pro is going to be with the trunk space. The trunk is massive. Even when you have the third row seats up, you still have ample amounts of space back there. I know some 3-row SUVs, you'll have absolutely no space, no useful space if you have the third row seats up. That's not the case here. You also have a massive kind of secondary trunk. If you open up that flap, it's really well done. And honestly, you can just buy this vehicle and use it as a 2-row SUV if you want to. Just fold down the third row and have a massive trunk that way. It's a really practical machine. I really respect it in those regards. Finally, the last pro I want to talk about is the fact that this is one of the best 3-row SUV values in today's crazy car market. You know, as you can see, everything is marked up, getting more and more expensive. Well, Nissan is intelligent, and they came out with some very attractive lease deals in this car market. They're doing phenomenal 18-month lease deals where you can do like a 1-pay lease on these Pathfinders, and you can get a very well-equipped SL model like this for, I don't know, $450 a month. So it's really impressive. And most dealerships will commonly offer you like 6 to 7% off MSRP if you ask for it. So I like how Nissan is being very flexible here in this market. And if you want to snag a good deal on this SUV, I did partner up with LeaseCompanion. He does offer very good deals on these Nissans, but there's actually a lot of other brokers on the Lease Hacker forum that you can contact to get Nissan products, especially great lease deals, because that's where it's at with these new Nissans. The Pathfinders, the Frontiers, I mean, people did like $4,000 1-pay leases on Frontiers. So if you need a pickup truck, well, that's pretty hard to beat. That's like the equivalent of, I don't know, $250 a month. So that's pretty excellent for a $50,000 truck. And these Pathfinders, like I said, they can be around like $450 a month, I believe, on a lease. Depending on if you do payments or 1-pay leases. or you can just finance or pay cash. But really, I think leasing is the way to go. That's where the value is at, and getting like 6 or 8% off MSRP, I think that's the way to go. So if you want to work with AutoCompanion, I'll put their information down in the description box below. Would I personally buy this vehicle? This is definitely like top 3 for me as far as SUVs in this class. I do think that the Telluride is personally my most favorite, but as we all know, Kia dealerships are pretty much impossible to work with, so that's pretty much out of the equation. The Toyota Highlander Hybrid is pretty excellent, but once again, good luck finding that as well. With all things considered, I really would probably choose this. I know the CX-9 can be had for some good deals as well, but this offers a little bit more of a wider interior space. I like the naturally aspirated V6 that this has to offer, and the fact that this can take regular fuel without any compromises. I do like that. This 9-speed is tuned to be pretty excellent as well, so I think I would probably choose the Pathfinder over the CX-9 as well. Also because I like the way it looks, but that's subjective. But yeah, this would probably be a buy for me. In this climate, I would go with this. If you can get like a Highlander hybrid for MSRP, I would probably jump on that as well. I wouldn't play any games. I would just grab that. But if you can get any of the other vehicles that you want, yeah, I like Nissan. This is good, and their lease deals are pretty excellent as well. So hopefully you found value with this video. If you want to see my full detailed thoughts on driving the Pathfinder, check out the end screen here. Click on it, and I will see you there.